Even though this may be shocking or disappointing or completely unexpected, it's the fact that
watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, light the show. Watch them grow.
Hello, Leo. Welcome to your September 2019 general reading, my friend. There's a really creepy looking bug on my window. That's gross. But anyway, welcome to your reading, Leo. So if you have not cross-watched the other readings, then you don't know that we're doing a pick card first for our extended. So go ahead and pick number 1, 2, or 3. I will pick a corresponding card, and then we're going to use this to separate groups in the extended, to get intuitive messages for you guys, and to give you specific meditations in reference to your situation and what's not or whatever. 1, 2, and 3. I've been telling everyone to pick whichever card or number that comes into your mind first. So do that. I'm just saying. Anyway, if you pick number 1, we have wisdom. If you pick number 2, whoa, we have release. Number 2 is very much in alignment with the intuitive message I have for y'all. If you picked number 3, we have workaholic. So fascinating. Whew. So here's the thing, Leo. As soon as I got into you guys' energy, I felt oppressed, would be the word. I felt very oppressed. But I feel the oppression that you guys are experiencing is not from an external source. I feel it's very much internal. It's very much self-imposed. And if I were to put it into psychological terms, we would say that we're talking about a victim mentality, right? It has a lot to do with the video that I put up, it was like yesterday, and it was an excerpt from Libra's reading. So you guys may want to watch that, because I said all signs will probably get something out of that, or if you have Libra in your chart. But in essence, I'll link it below to make it easier for you. But in so many words, what I was saying is the need to come to the realization, I think every human being, is that the understanding that life is not happening to you, it is happening for you, right? So what we're talking about is a change in perspective. Because when we speak about a victim mentality, that's things are happening to me. It's taking things personally. And now Spirit is bringing me to the book, The 4 Agreements. Okay. If you have not read that, you might want to. Really great book. But one of the 4 agreements, it talks about not taking things personally. So this is fascinating. Okay, so jokingly we talk about Leo in the sense of like, you know, me, pay attention to me. It's all about me. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how everybody has like, you know, the little jokes about zodiac signs. Like, you know, with Taurus, everybody thinks that I'm stubborn and lazy. I'm not stubborn. Well, I'm a little stubborn sometimes. I do be China shopping. But I'm definitely not lazy. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, I feel guilty when I take naps, but that's neither here nor there. But the point that I'm making is, if you go with this whole narrative of like, you know, the stereotypical perception people have of Leos, I see this more in an internal sense of me, everything is about me, meaning the false perception that what other people are doing somehow has something to do with you when it doesn't. You know what I mean? It's assuming that, it's almost like internalizing external forces in the sense of making other people's thoughts, behaviors, attitudes, actions about you when it's really not about you. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, it's not, it could fall into that realm of saying like, oh, you know, the world revolves around me, but it's not that. It's almost you guys, like I said, an oppressed feeling is you guys taking on an unnecessary burden, right? So in other words, oh my gosh, that's really bothering me. Sorry. But in other words, so I'm saying is you guys are taking false responsibility, right? To the point where it plagues you, because it's the false assumption that other people's actions are somehow directed at you, when in truth, what's happening is simply happening, and it doesn't have a meaning until you make a judgment about what's happening. You know what I'm saying? So if a person cuts you off in traffic, like they literally just cut you off in traffic. Like that's what happened. But it's like whatever assumption you make about the why behind that, It has less to do with the external force and more to do about your internal core belief system and perception of life at large. And that's what I feel like is going to be the thing that you guys are kind of chewing on this month, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's kind of gaining dominion over your perception, but that's not going to happen. You can't gain dominion over something or heal it until the perception that you have comes into your awareness. So another thing, I said this with Capricorn. No, I lied. I did not say that with Capricorn. I forgot what sign I said it for. It really doesn't matter. I think it was Cancer. But I'm going to link that video below for you guys too. Oh my gosh, I need to write this down because I will forget. Okay. 1 second. So, what I'm going to link is, it's an exercise that I do with my clients in sessions. And I made a video about it for the new moon, I think last month, if I'm not mistaken. And it really has nothing to do with the moon phases. But I feel like it would be of help to you guys because what it is, it gives you an activity to help you uncover false narratives, right? So that's an exercise that you guys can do to help you to start to unearth what is feeding this perception. In other words, like the judgments that you're making in reference to experiences that you guys are having. So we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for Leos for the month of September, please, Spirit. Anything of utmost importance, anything that Leo needs to know, please allow that to come to the forefront in this here reading. Please give me the ability to interpret these messages in a clear and concise manner. What is going on with this deck? Clear and concise manner, please, Spirit. And as always, thank you in advance because I know you're good for it, Spirit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So let's see, Heather, my wonderful Leos. I hope that makes sense. But I'm going to link those videos below for you because I feel those are going to be helpful for you. Because in other words, it's not really about, like I said, I use that stereotype of Leo, but it has nothing to do with that in the sense of like, oh, you guys are self-centered. It's not that at all. It's like, I just feel in the sense of that being like a frequency of your personality that influences you. And that being something that's like benign, I think is the word. Is it benign? It's like neutral. It's neither good or bad, but it's like how you put it into action is what could make it, and how I'm seeing it is on the lower vibrational negative side for you internally, you know, false responsibility in a sense. So anywho, central energy that we have, we have the Tower. Well, that's why that came up. Okay, so here's the thing. So there may be some shocking news that comes in, right? Something that's going to, you know, phone call, message, information, something that's going to come in that's going to kind of shake your world up. Something that you did not see, something you weren't expecting. I mean, for some of y'all, it may have happened already. But the whole thing that I'm saying is with that. That's why we're talking about this. This situation is exactly what it is that I was saying before with you guys' intuitive message. What's happening is simply what's happening. Whether this is good or bad for you, right? Is all about the judgment that you make about what it is that actually happened. That's why it is that that's so important, right? Because I feel like this is something that's going to come in that's going to shock you, like it's unexpected. But I feel the reason why Spirit is having this come up is so when this does happen, when this shock does happen, whether it's like a loss or you lose your job, I don't want to say like bad stuff, because that would fall into the wrong bed. But I'm feeling with this is neither good or bad, depending on what the decision is you make about it. So if you're going through the rest of the month with the mentality of knowing that you have the, good Lord, my phone's dying. Knowing that you have the power to choose whether something is for your highest good or not, or you have the power to decide whether this can serve you or not serve you, I feel that's what's going to give you guys power and dominion over this situation. Now, the challenge that you guys have is the 8 of Cups. Wow. So walking away from something. And I feel with this in so many words, like I said, dude, This is so on point. I love how this is happening. With whatever this shocking event is, this thing that's going to be like a stunning type of thing, right? This shocking event. Let me just stick with shocking. Whatever this is that's coming in with that, it's almost as if this is giving you an opportunity to break free and walk away from something that was no longer serving you. But the thing is I don't know, it's almost like I feel in a sense that Leo has disempowered themselves up to this point. And you disempowering yourself has had you at the will of the situation. So in truth, this Tower moment is more or less divine intervention that's coming in to save you from yourself. But I feel that this message is coming in like this because you guys need to be cognizant of this prior to this happening, or knowing this with this just have happened, because this is almost like an opportunity to set you free in so many words. So it's a chance for you to be set free from a situation. But it's like if you had no, prior, empowered knowledge that let you know that you're not at the will of this, you could potentially be trying to fight for something that's in your best interest to lose right now, if that's making sense, or to walk away from right now. The past influence we have, is the King of Swords. So we can look at this two ways. This could be a person in you guys' life that's phasing out or needs to phase out, in other words. This could be a job, a group of people. It's something like it's an authority figure, and I can even see this as a mindset. I don't really so much feel it as a person per se. I mean, it could be, but for me it feels more energetic for me, which for me means it's like whenever I feel something not personified and more energetic, this is more like a situation, circumstance that's taking the personified characteristics of the King of Swords, if you feel what I'm saying. So this could be a situation, circumstance, a person, people, or this could just simply be your mindset. So more or less like you guys needing to utilize your discernment, needing to gain dominion over your mind and be more strategic in how it is that you guys maneuver through this. And I feel the purpose for that is with this situation, it's very much, how can I say it? It's very provocating for your emotional world. And it's something where you could potentially feel as if you're drowning or completely losing control of the situation, almost like being in quicksand. And there's a need to stay in one's mental space, or your mind, in so many words, can be a tool to you in whatever this is. But it's a need for your mind to be balanced, because if we approach this situation and it becomes a triggering event for like a victim mentality, so to speak, what I'm trying to say is this could be a triggering event for a victim mentality, to where you're blinded to seeing how this is actually working in your favor, even though it's less than stellar circumstances, if that's making sense. Because it's more or less, and I've talked about this in other readings, because it's a theme that I'm seeing with everyone, but it's more or less like when there's divine intervention that's happening, if you don't use your intuition to see behind the veil, like to see past the tragedy or bad situation, disappointment or whatever, if you don't use your intuition to see past what's literally happening, to see the deeper essence behind it, like if looking through 3D to 5D to see like the higher purpose for why all of this stuff is happening, if you just get lost in 3D, you end up being at the will of the situation. But I feel what Spirit is challenging you guys to do is to rise higher and to see above or over the situation, if that's making sense. So you're not at the will of the circumstance, because I feel heavily, even though this may be shocking or disappointing or completely unexpected, it's the fact that whatever this is that's falling away, it's falling away for your highest good, because it's something that up to this point has become a block or an obstacle on your path, and it's preventing you from getting to where it is that you're trying to go, in so many words. Our underlying influence, we have the Fool in the reverse, and I feel it's because you guys are resistant to let this go, in so many words. And that's the thing. It's like not seeing that this is not helping you, it's hurting you. So it could be something like, if we think about this like a job, it's like this, like say hypothetically, if, I don't know, you guys have a side business, right? And your side business is doing really well, but you're afraid to leave your job because you're afraid that, like, you know, maybe I'll stop getting clients or something like that. So you're staying at the job. But the thing is your business is starting to decline in productivity because the job has now become an obstacle. So the way that this energy would manifest would be, you would go to work and you would get laid off or get fired from this job, right? And the thing is Spirit is moving this obstacle because, say that there's some big company that's coming and wants to be your client, to where you would make more money than you could have ever fathomed with that job that you lost, right? But that's in the long distance. So that's the reason why the Tower came, hypothetically, right? But because of this loss of the job triggers a victim mentality, and now it's like, I'm being attacked, someone did this to me, how could they, blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like internalizing this to where you can't see the blessing in all of it. So this in turn puts you in a depression, and you get sad, and then when the company calls that wants to give you this big contract, you're too depressed to answer the phone, so they call another company, and you end up missing an opportunity because you couldn't see the potential in this loss, because it relates back to a perception and a core belief that life is happening to me, not for me. So that means me losing my job is automatically a bad thing. This isn't fair, low vibration, low vibration, low vibration. As opposed to like, whoa, I lost my job. Where do I go from here? Because of course, normal human emotions, it's going to be shocking. It's going to be sad. You're going to feel that. But the thing that I feel that Spirit is trying to help you guys tap back into is that bounce back grit and resilience. It's like, if I lost this job and I know that there's nothing I could do to get it back, then it's like, yeah, I'm disappointed and I'm sad, but it's like, I've made it through other things in the past, so I'll make it through this too. You know what I mean? So instead of lying in bed for an entire week, like crying and eating ice cream, you know what I'm saying, listening to sad songs or whatever, it's like you're gonna probably be upset that day, but then bounce back up the next day and start looking for another job, if that makes sense, right? Or put all of your time, energy, and effort into, like, say if we go with the company theme, you put all your time, energy, and effort into your company until, you know, either something pops off with that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's not staying down long. It's having like that kind of bounce back type of energy. And that's why I feel it is that this is coming in. Because the unseen force of this with the Fool in the reverse is more or less like you guys being afraid of taking a risk on a new beginning. So it's like at this point in the game, it's like you guys are holding yourself back from what's for you. And like I said, with the Tower and the Fool being here, it's almost as if the energy, and this is kind of what I said with Capricorn, it's like, I can't remember the wording that Spirit gave me for them at the moment, but it was something along the lines of, it's like, regardless of what happens now, like you can either get with the program, or it's, I can't remember how Spirit said it. It was like, either you deal with it or you get dealt with. Like that's the kind of energy I'm feeling with you guys. But the thing is because you don't see that whatever it is you guys are holding on to, whether it's, like I said, person, people, like circumstances, situations, jobs, whatever, you don't see that this is actually an obstruction to your path and it's holding you back from the new beginning that Spirit has for you. But because karmically you need to be in alignment with where you're supposed to be, it's like you will be forced into your position. You feel what I'm saying? Because everybody has to get in alignment now. So it's like, if you don't deal with it, you will get dealt with. It's that simple. You feel what I'm saying? But I mean, it sounds kind of like ominous or whatever, but this is really good, because whether for good or for bad temporarily, all of this is working out in your highest good. But at this point in the game, it's the fact that you guys, because of your perception of things, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1. You get to heal your perception and get a new beginning. So it's more or less so you can appreciate what it is that's coming into your life in so many words. And your conscious energy, we have the Queen of Wands. So I feel in so many words, y'all called this in. This is so funny. Every single reading has been this is not is paradigm. This is all about like manifestation, not necessarily so much laws of attraction per se, kind of a little bit, but it's my is not is paradigm. Whenever we want to manifest something into our life, because everything in this realm is, we live in a realm of reciprocity, right? So it's like, it's a give and take. There has to be an exchange. In order to receive, you have to give something, right? If you want food, you got to go to the grocery store and you got to give your money to get the product, right? So this is more or less a position of power, or a job, or a state of being, or personal empowerment. It's something that you guys wanted. And another thing is, for you guys, I feel this too, it has a lot to do with like purpose, meaning, job, not job, purpose, meaning, career, calling, like within that realm. It's more or less like you guys were searching for your purpose. Like, what is the purpose of my life? Why am I here? And wanting to find out what that is, right? So it's more or less, this is an opportunity that you guys have called in, wanting to step into your power, or wanting to give what you guys have to other people. In a lot of these readings, it's been a lot of helping professional stuff. So it's like you guys called this in. But the same thing I keep saying for everyone is that you have to understand how manifestation works. When you're focusing your energy on drawing something into your life, everything, like God is very practical, right? So everything works in season, processes, in order. So it's not about me trying to manifest, my divine purpose, especially if this is in a spiritual sense, and think that you're not going to go through an awakening or a dark night of the soul. It's like, you asked for this. You feel what I'm saying? Or thinking like you're going to manifest a house and somebody's just going to drop a house on your lap. It doesn't work like that. It's like there's processes and checks and balances that have to, like, we all have to go through. We're all subject to it. You feel what I'm saying? So with my is not is paradigm, the universe likes to fill voids. So whenever you call something into your life, the polar opposite of what it is that you're trying to manifest has to show up first. And we personify those as tests. It's like, I want to get, my life together. It's like spirit, I really want to change. I want things to be different, da 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 da. And it's like, so you go with this really positive attitude. And that's where, like I say, like with the laws of attraction, where, not saying anything bad about it, but it's like people who explain it, like, like with The Secret and stuff like that, they don't go into detail of what this looks like in action. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it's like you can make it seem like, oh, like I put up a dream board, I saw this house, and then now I'm living in this house. But it's like you leave out the fact that for 5 years you were going through all of these horrible, horrendous things to get this house that was on your dream board. You feel what I'm saying? So the thing that I'm saying is the is not has to manifest before the is, so that void, so the devoid of this thing that you're calling in can fill that space. So we personify this sometimes as tests, right? It's like spirit is testing me, or things get worse before they get better. You know what I'm saying? But it's a very cause and effect energetic exchange type of thing. So if you guys have been in a place to where you've been praying for something, calling something in, doing visualizations, you did a dream board, or you just been on your knees begging spirit things, it's like whatever this tower is, it's coming in to help you walk away from this, or to pull it away from you. Because I feel like up to this point, because it's almost like you have chances to release something, but it's almost as if it had to be pried from your cold, dead hands. You feel what I'm saying? in order for this new energy to come in. So this is another thing, like me explaining it to you that way, this is something that adds to your perspective shift, right? It's like, whoa, I never looked at that like that. You feel what I'm saying? So that's something that puts you in power. So now that's not something that you would want to stay in bed for a week and cry over. You feel what I'm saying? Because this, you understand, like, all right, this is just the is, not my is coming. The fact that this stuff is panning out like this is a sign that what I've called in is coming to me. So I just need to make it through this storm so I can get to the other side of this. You feel what I'm saying, Leo? I hope that that's making sense. Oh, goodness. Going forward, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So here's the thing. I'm seeing this card two different ways. In this deck, it's different than your atypical Five of Pentacles reverse in the Rider-Waite, because in the Rider-Waite, you look at that as coming out of the cold. The way that I'm looking at this is you have the opportunity to come out of the proverbial cold, but aligning this with what it means in this deck, which is ignoring divine guidance. You feel what I'm saying? It's all on you how this can pan out, right? If you guys can change your perspective. I got a phone call. I keep forgetting to turn this do not disturb off. Okay, do not lose your train of thought, princess. Wait. Okay, wait. 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 Okay, there it is. All right. So you have, when this comes to your perspective, you have two different paths that you can go with this, right? You can choose to ignore everything that I'm saying, because you can do that with free will. You can totally ignore everything it is that I'm saying, anything that your dreams have been telling you, anything that you've been getting spiritually, with whatever, however the spirit speaks to you. You can ignore all of that and say it's all hogwash, right? And you can stay in this state of misdirection, being lost, being downtrodden, and being the victim of life. That is your right. You can do that, right? But then on the other side, you can heed what I'm saying, what other people have said to you, what everything else that's been speaking to you intuitively has been saying to you, and you can bring yourself out of the cold that way. So even if the circumstances in your life are not ideal, you have power, dominion, and control over your mental space, and you can handle that and choose to rise above this, ride out the storm, and walk into your new beginning. But whichever path you choose is totally up to you, my friend. You feel what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and throw these dice of resonance. You know what I'm saying? You can answer yes or no question if you like. I'm looking at this because I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's coming up. But I feel that's really what it is, man. This is an opportunity for you guys to get to where it is that you are trying to go, but it's just a need to change your perspective. We have Crush, we have Aries, we have Mars, we have Capricorn, and we have yes in a few weeks. That's interesting. The energy in you guys' reading does remind me of Capricorn. I already did Aries, so if you want to watch Aries or Capricorn, that may be helpful to you. So Capricorn, Aries, Crush, Mars, and yes in a few weeks. You feel what I'm saying? So let's throw the dice that have no name. I don't know what it is that feels, it feels like unfinished business. Like that's how my energy feels right now. It feels undone. I don't know what that is I'm picking up on. Whoa, almost dropped that. Okay. We got the number 7, we have Taurus, and we have Sun. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. These little children are asking you to please come out so we can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun. Okay, I'm sorry. Had a flashback of my childhood really quick. My apologies. I hope you sang along with me. Moving right along. So for Sun, it says Father, masculine principle. Hermetic principle, law of polarity. You are infinite. Self-mastery, Start working on strengthening the weak points of your sun sign. Wow, that's fascinating. So with that, I'm not really sure what the weak points are of Leo, but you could go on Pinterest or you could go on Google and just put in, weaknesses of Leo, and it'll give you like a list of different stuff, like things that are just kind of natural challenges for you guys. And in the month of September, something that would behoove you all is to make it a point to start working on those things, right? Because I do this in therapy with the Myers-Briggs personality assessment. It's like with my clients, I have them take the MBTI, and with every single one of the 16 types, everyone has a weakness, right? So there's parts of you that aren't your natural inclination to work or to operate in, so to speak. So the thing is you're going to look at those weaknesses, and we work on strengthening those weaknesses so that we can create a more well-rounded person. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's what personal growth is really about. It's like we all have natural inclinations or what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's certain assets that we have that come natural to us, but then there's other facets of ourselves that are a struggle for us, So that's something that's helpful in a very tangible, like tactile kind of way. And then with the law of polarity, you guys can look that up too, but just to give you a little tidbit about it. The law of polarity, in so many words, is talking about that there is no other. In other words, like if you think about up, down, left, right, male and female, it's not that they're opposites, like they're two opposing factors. It's just that they're two extremes of the same thing. So you have human, but you have a male human and you have a female human. You know what I'm saying? Or if you look at it in more of a simplistic way, if you think of water, water is water, but water can get so cold that it can freeze, right? Or water can get so hot that it will evaporate. But in its essence, even though the manifestation of it is different, it's still the same thing. It's just personifying differently. So that tunes into the whole thing of us being infinite as souls, in the sense that when you look at yourself as an aspect of spirit, there really is no differentiation between you and everyone else. That's why I usually always say there's only one of us. You feel what I'm saying? Because in essence, we are all one with everything. It's just in this realm of this dyad of, planet Earth, we mistakenly actually think that there's a difference between us and other people. Granted, being in a body, not everybody knows that they have or are a soul in a body. Not everybody knows that, right? So you have people who become byproducts of their conditioning. But it's like in the deeper sense of things, everything is interconnected. So everything in your life is like doing connect the dots. Like everything is connected. Nothing that you have ever experienced, nothing that you have ever been through is for nothing. But your perception can have you in a position to where you choose to believe that that's true. Just like you can choose to believe that everything that I just said is complete hogwash, right? But you can also choose to find where this aligns with your life and helps you on your path journey and your personal development and your growth process, right? So that's one of those things where that opens up to help you understand life in a more interconnected sense. It's like changing your perspective and seeing things differently. It empowers your position on your experience, and it helps you to ascend to that state that life is happening for me as opposed to me, right? So anywho, we have the number 7. So your arcana to meditate on this month is the Chariot. Chariot has a great deal to do with integration, inner balance, mastering your mind by allowing your soul to ascend to its rightful place. You know what I'm saying? And I've been telling everybody with that for some reason this month. Read the book, The Seed of the Soul. So y'all got 2 books, Leo. I might have to link that too. This is so interesting. Let's see. Seed of the Soul. And the 4 Agreements. I'm going to link those in the description box below. But anywho, so it's mastering your mind, allowing your soul to take its rightful place, right? So you can be above your experience. but it's also understanding the creation of life via your choices in your free will, like we said with the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like you guys have the ability to choose to manifest this however you want. You know what I'm saying? It's all up to you, right? So anywho, it says imagination, dreams, and openness to hidden realities. What's behind the veil? That's exactly what I was saying. I'm just saying. Leo, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I love your freaking face, Leo. I'm going over to Vimeo to get into our 3 groups if you guys picked a card and you feel that you need something a little bit more specific. And then we're going to start our other spread and whatnot or whatever. But if not, I still love your freaking face and I will see you guys sooner than later. Why all of this is happening is in the sense of there either not being enough in a financial sense, like there's not enough money. And that's why this thing is being lost. Like something else is going on. This would be a person who's emotionally unavailable. And my group 2 people may resonate the most with this. It feels confusing and it looks confusing. And this person is bad for business. More for my group 1 people, like being